Hello everyone, welcome back to a new episode of Luke's Movie Talk. I'm going to go over some of the most recent movies I've been watching. So for this video, I'll be looking at The Conjuring, the start of the whole Conjuring universe, which was like Annabelle, The Nun, and all the other films. But just before I get into that, I uploaded a review for Halloween Kills, so if you're interested, go give that a watch. And also make sure to like, subscribe to keep up to date with all future uploads. Okay, so let's get into the plot of The Conjuring. So the Perron family move into a new house on a secluded plot of land, but start to experience mysterious events. We meet the Warrens, Ed and Lorraine, who deal with supernatural incidents, with their most recent case being Annabelle the doll. So we meet them talking to the people that owned Annabelle most recently, and we get some flashback scenes of Annabelle writing on walls and stuff, and the Warrens take her and basically put her in a glass box to keep her safe and away from anyone else, because the entity that's like surrounding Annabelle could be very dangerous to anyone that goes near it, basically. Over the first few days, each of the Perron family seemed to experience a variety of paranormal events. These events include their dog mysteriously dying overnight, doors opening, pictures breaking and falling off the stairs, ghostly figures appearing, and clapping from those same ghosts. And finally, bruises all over the mother Caroline's body. So there's multiple instances where ghostly appearances are happening, like one pops up in the closet and claps to misguide the mother. There's clapping in the stairwell of the basement to trap her in there. Something's pulling on the girl's leg while they're sleeping. There's lots of little things happening. It's building up slowly and slowly. These events culminate with an entity physically attacking one of the daughters. So one of the daughters is sleepwalking and is headbutting a cabinet or a wardrobe, and it pans up after that happens, and you see this hideous woman, I guess you could call it, but just crouching on top of the cupboard, and it just jumps off and leaps onto the girl, and it's gotten to the point where it's attacking them now. It's not just making doors open, it's physically going for them now. Soon after all of this happens, they contact the Warrens for help. Ed and Lorraine agree to look at their case, and while there, Lorraine, who is a clairvoyant, can sense and see something in the house that is latching onto the family. So as soon as they walk in, you see Lorraine's face, and she is clearly uncomfortable. You can clearly feel something evil there, and it's like latching onto the family and won't let them leave or will follow them anywhere they go. To gather evidence for the exorcism they're going to do, the Warrens and their team set up cameras and equipment. So they set cameras up in multiple different rooms. They've got little bells on the doors, so if the doors happen to move, they'll know that something's happening. And it starts straight away, basically. Like the basement door opens and then slams, but that's all it does the first night. But it slowly, again, escalates and gets worse and more dramatic over time. After further investigating, Lorraine finds out an accused witch, Bathsheba, sacrificed her week-old baby and killed herself while cursing the land. So basically, the house that the land is on, basically this woman Bathsheba was accused of being a witch, sacrificed her son, cursed anyone that came onto this land to death, and they find out that multiple other mothers and children have died, a maid killed herself, and it's not looking good, and they need to sort something out quickly. Over the years, multiple murders and suicides have occurred on the land that Bathsheba owned, so the land got cut up into different sections, but that doesn't matter. The land is still cursed and people are still being affected by it. After more paranormal events, Carolyn is possessed by Bathsheba, but no one knows. Lorraine basically sees what looks like an entity in the room, but basically Caroline was like, no, nothing happened, but Lorraine is very wary and something must have happened, but she can't really say because she's not sure. After things escalate, one of the daughters ends up in a crawl space behind a wardrobe, and when Lorraine goes in to investigate, the floor collapses and she ends up all the way down in the basement. Lorraine sees other spirits that Bathsheba killed, and Lorraine realizes Bathsheba possesses the mothers and then kills the children. She meets one of the other mothers that killed her son and then killed herself, but she was possessed by Bathsheba, and that's what all of this is. Bathsheba possesses the mother, kills the children, and it's just a cycle and keeps happening, and it's happened to this family now. Bathsheba attacks one of the girls by pulling her hair across the room, but they get it on camera. So they've now got that evidence and they can show the church that it is bad, they need some help. Because of their involvement, Bathsheba attacks the Warren's daughter Judy, but she is saved. So basically, while she's home alone with her grandmother, she sees Annabelle with Bathsheba, and basically She gets a chair thrown at her, but Ed and Lorraine get back in time and save her, basically, and they know they need to sort something out now because it infects their lives as well. The parents stay at a motel, but the possessed Caroline takes her two daughters, Christine and April, back to the house to kill them. Ed and Lorraine arrive and stop the possessed Caroline from killing them, and decide they must do the exorcism themselves now. So they want to wait for the priest, but they know they've got no time because Caroline is at the worst point now. She needs to be saved, basically. They tie her to a chair, but things get crazy with her levitating and birds circling the house. So, multiple paranormal events are happening now. She's in the chair, just levitating. These shrill shrieks are going out from her. Birds are circling the house in this very eerie moment. They put a sheet over her and it rips, but you see Bathsheba's face under it instead of Caroline, and it's really creepy. She eventually escapes to attack April, but Lorraine calls to Caroline to fight, and Ed finishes the exorcism, banishing Bathsheba. So basically Caroline and Lorraine came somewhat to an understanding that they both love their families, and this is what helps Caroline basically fight off Bathsheba in the end, because she remembers her family, what she's fighting for, and Ed calls out Bathsheba and banishes her, and it's a really cool moment where Bathsheba looks at him in complete gore that he would dare, and she gets banished off to whatever realm. Ed and Lorraine return home with the music box to add to their accursed room as a sort of memento. So we get this really cool moment where we see their room full of horrible things, and the little music box that Lorraine used to look for some of the spirits that are in the film. It gets added there and it just sits on it until the credits roll. It's a really cool ending. So I had a great time with this film. It's a classic horror scream fest and a ghost story. It's great because Ed and Lorraine Warren are based on real people. It gives a hint of realism to it, and it really made you feel invested in the characters. So first off, the scares were great. It's full of scares all around. Every couple of minutes is a good scare, or something popping up, or a door opening, and you're always on the edge of your seat, and I love it. The tension building was awesome. Like every moment, like the doors slowly open, or the camera pans really slowly, and you're just waiting for something to pop up, but nothing does. And I love those moments because you never know what's going to happen, so you're always, as I said, on the edge of your seat waiting for something. You could feel the family's fear, so as it got worse and worse, the family was getting real scared, especially the five girls. They were scared out of their minds, and the mum and dad were basically lost. They couldn't do anything. Ed and Lorraine are a great duo. I love their tag team of trying to defeat these creatures and entities. Lorraine's got the clairvoyance, and Ed is more the scientific kind of side of it, where he's more practical, I guess, and they make a good team trying to figure things out. The build-up of events was great. I love it starting off with just a door here or a window open there, but it slowly gets worse. Being pulled out of bed, being thrown about rooms, it is crazy. It just escalates and escalates, and it's so good to watch it happen over the film. The music and silence were well used, so the creepy music was really good because it made you tense, but then it went silent, so you're waiting for something to happen, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. That's what I think the music can do for a film. It really keeps you on edge. And then the investigating was fun, then putting up cameras and trying to catch the creature or entity off guard by trying to capture evidence, and they get it in the end, and it's really cool to see them try to get that evidence. The only one kind of negative about the film is it did rely a lot on the loud bangs and the jump scares. Unfortunately, that just comes with this type of film with ghosts and entities. Like, it's going to be full of scares, but it's kind of stereotypical to have the jump scares or the loud bangs and stuff. It'd be nice if it mixed it up a bit and did something different. But overall, I had a great time. This is the first of the Conjuring universe films, and I think it's a good start for how it expands into multiple other films. But this one's always going to be one of the better ones because it's the classic, the first. So I recommend you watch it. If you love a horror, love a good jump scare, it's definitely worth your watch. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this film. If you like this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to keep up to date with all future uploads. Until next time, I will see you all later.